Vasishta continued. They in whom the twin urges of acquisition and rejection have come to an end do not desire anything, nor do they renounce anything. The mind does not reach a state of utter tranquility till these two impulses of acquisition and of rejection have been eliminated. I suspect that a lot of people watching this, or a lot of people that are familiar with the Yoga Vasistha, will probably feel, well, this isn't a big deal. I'm not a materialist person. I'm not interested in worldly gain. And you don't really think you've got much of a problem with giving up acquisition and rejection of things. But what about your ideas? What about your notions about how things are? What about notions of Brahman, of enlightenment, of a path to enlightenment? How attached to ideas like that are you? How attached are you to the feeling that you've got to try to understand this and make sure you don't get the wrong idea about things? You want to get the right idea. You want to make sure you really understand this. If you're reading the Yoga Vasistha, if you're studying the Yoga Vasistha or text like it, are you studying it in the hope of understanding things? Because if you are, you're probably missing the point. Books like this can only be a reminder to direct your awareness to itself, to direct the attention to itself. And if you're doing anything else, if you're trying to formulate notions and ideas or trying to understand notions and ideas, then you've missed the point. And this is what the next sentence really seems to imply. Even so, as long as one feels this is real and this is unreal, the mind does not experience peace and equilibrium. In other words, if you're caught up in trying to find out or trying to understand what is real and what is unreal, you're not going to attain equilibrium and peace. It can only come from awareness, realization of your own awareness. How can equanimity, purity or dispassion arise in the mind of one who is swayed by thoughts of this is right, this is wrong, this is gain, this is loss? So you think, oh, I understand it now. I've acquired something. Oh, that's the wrong way of thinking. I'm going to give up my ideas about reincarnation. It's not about ideas, although we're talking about some great ideas here. It's not about ideas. When there is only one Brahman, which is forever one and the many, what can be said to be right and what wrong? As long as the mind is swayed by thoughts of the desirable and the undesirable, there cannot be equanimity. So we're not talking about desiring a nice car or getting rid of an ugly piece of furniture. We're talking about ideas here. That's what we're really caught up in. Beliefs, ideas and beliefs. Desirelessness, absence of all, which is absence of all expectations. Fearlessness, unchanging steadiness, equanimity, wisdom, non-attachment, non-action, goodness, total absence of perversion, courage, endurance, friendliness, intelligence, contentment, gentleness, pleasant speech. All these qualities are natural to one who is free from the instincts of acquisition and rejection, and even these qualities are non-intentional and spontaneous. So we're not trying to cultivate these good qualities. If you've really got no investment in any particular belief system, then you've got nothing to protect. You can just be yourself. You're not going to be threatened by somebody else's belief system or any feelings that you've got a belief system to defend. You're resting in awareness. There's appreciation of that awareness. There's appreciation of its absolute nature, of its infinite nature, of its nature as Brahman. This is your awareness. It's the awareness of little old you. Awareness is the great miracle. And that's all this is about. It's about awareness and appreciation of awareness. One should restrain the mind from flowing downward, even as the flow of a river is blocked by the construction of a dam. It's flowing downward in the sense that we're settling for shoddy goods. We're constantly having our sense of being sapped by the idea that there's something out there which we need to complete ourselves. After having firmly abandoned all contact with external objects, turn the mind within and reflect over everything within yourself, even while engaged in various activities. So it says here, after having firmly abandoned all contact with external objects. Really what we have to do is abandon all notion of external objects. With the help of this sharp sword of wisdom, cut through this network of conditioning which throws up cravings, intentions, motivations, acceptance and rejection, which alone is the cause of this stream of world appearance. Cut down the mind with the mind itself. In other words, we turn the attention to itself and we bypass the cognitive process, the process of cognition, of conceptualization. Having reached a state of purity, remain established in it right now. Cut the mind down with the mind and dismiss the thought of the mind, which thus negates the mind. It's the thought of the mind which negates the mind. It's the thought of anything which negates the mind. Any idea, notion, belief, that's what negates the real nature of the mind. Thus will you have finally destroyed the world appearance. When thus the world appearance has been eliminated, delusion will not arise again, and the mind will not create the world appearance again either. But this isn't what usually happens. We get caught up in it. Once this realization happens, there are tendencies, latent tendencies, psychological tendencies, which lead us to get involved in notions of the world again. So we have to keep coming back, keep practicing inquiry. Though appearing to function in this world, be firmly rooted in the awareness of the unreality of all this, and thus give up all hopes and expectations. We give up all emotional investments. Rooted in equanimity, doing whatever happens to be the appropriate action in each given situation, and not even thinking about what has thus befallen you unsought, live a non-volitional life here. Even as the Lord may be said to be both the doer and the non-doer of all actions here, you too live non-volitionally, doing yet not doing what has to be done. And some people think, well, this philosophy is no good. It's saying that the world's not real, and what about all the suffering in the world and all the rest of it? You can still be involved in all that. You can still be involved in political activity. It isn't about not doing it. What you're doing is preparing yourself to be involved more effectively than you would otherwise be, because you've not got any self-interest in it. This is really the essence of compassion.